Welcome to Living Chassidus. Together, let's live the Chassidus we learn.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Chassidus in the morning. 15 minutes to change our lives. Learning the Bris Maamer of the Alter Rebbe. It's basically, we started off by asking a very powerful question. Why did Abraham wait till he was 99 years old, till his command to Hashem to do a bris? Why didn't he do, like he did all the other mitzvahs? He even did Ev Tavshilin, brings down the Gemara, even Ev Tavshilin he did, which is only, it's not even Deraisa, Derabanan, it's a Gezer Derabanan. So what's going on over here? Why didn't he do the bris? So obviously it's not because he was lazy, chas v'shalom, or anything like that. It must be because there's something deep about the bris. So in order to understand why he waited, we have to understand what's the bris. So then we brought down there's two levels of bris. Like we saw in the Pesukim. There's a bris milamata l'mayla coming from below to above, which we just started to discuss yesterday, and there's a bris milamayla l'mata, above to below. And Hashem, in today's class, we're going to bring out the Maila of the bris that we do nowadays. So yeah, for the one hand, it says, we'll go through the Pesukim. Also, we discussed that it says in the Pasuk, what was the Pasuk? Lebesh Maim Hilema Miyale Lanash Maima. Miyale Lanash Maima says, the Pasuk says, the Torah's not in heaven to say who's going to go up and get it. And the words Miyale Lanash Maima, who will go up to us in heavens, the first letters of each of those words is Mem Yud Lamed Hey, which is Milah, and the last word, the Sefer Tevis, is Yud Hey Vav and another Hey. So we're showing here, we're seeing from this pasuk that Milah is on a higher level than Shem Havai, than Hashem's name, than Hashem. Levels of Hashem. Of course, there's more levels of Hashem. The level of Hashem is of Havai, which is sort of the source of creation. What the Milah is on a high level. And then we discussed there's two types of Milah. There's a Milah that Maltim is Alas Levav, you should circumcise the portion of your heart, meaning the closeness we have to work on the closeness. We talked about it and also talking about Tshuva. And then there's a deeper level, which is sort of the gift that Hashem gives us, which is Umal Hashem Levavcha Es Levavcha. Hashem will circumcise your heart. Hashem will help you. So yesterday we discussed a little bit of what does it mean from below to above, the effort that we have to put in for it. And today we're going to discuss from L'mayla L'mata a little bit. On the second type of milah, which is going to be after in gathering of the galus. Cool, and after we complete our job of fulfilling the whole Torah, it says, which is the rest of Tevis of milah, who's going to have to us in heaven, which are first letters of that word. This word, who's going to go up to us in heaven and get it, is milah. Which is above Torah. So what we're saying is that the milah that we're talking about, this gift from above, is above Torah. Why is it above Torah? Because it's called Torah. Now, regarding to Torah, it says, Torah is not in heaven. Torah, the whole purpose of Torah is to come down. Dafka. Like I said, brought down the Gemara. Sham Rabbi Shiur, Ein Mashgich LaBasko. But don't listen to a Basko. Meaning, there's a discussion in the Gemara. And someone proved that he goes, if I'm right, a Basko from Shemai will say I'm right. So a heavenly voice from heaven comes down and says, this guy's right. So they answer him back, Le Mashgich LaBasko. I don't care what when they say in Shemayim, we don't live in Shemayim. Torah, Le B'Shemayim. Torah is down here. The purpose of Torah is we brought down here. The Torah is in a low level. Torah is down here. It's as it has come down here. Torah is not in heaven, it's down below. Yeah. It's a whole beautiful story over there about this, how it got to this point of the Basko. And Torah is called Torah Havai, Torah of Hashem, but Havai is the Yud Hey, the Vav Hey, which is the last letters, the Sefer Tevis. Kishem Havai Yud Tzimtzum. So why is Torah called Shem Havai? What's Havai represent? The Yud in Shem Havai. which is the first letter is the tzimtzum, is a contraction, like Yud is very small, and the Hey is already, you have length, you have height and width already. So it's spreading out. That's Hispashus, that's spreading out. Then you have the Vav, Amshacha, the Vav is a line, so it goes drawing down. Shal, now the Hey is also the tzimtzum. Shal, Yedezeh, Nimshach Lamat, and all that is a form of Seder Shtalshlus, descending from above to below. That's the process. You have like the Yud, a little idea, a little point, and it gets expanded on, then it gets brought down. And this is what Torah is. This is what's happening with Torah. Torah is being brought down. But the Milah, Hanal, Hila, but the Milah we're talking about the second level after we put in our efforts is a much higher level. Actually, here Rashi Tevis, B'Shem Havai, Yisrael Tevis. Until that Milah, it's so great that it's the Rashi Tevis. It's the first letters of the word, whereas the Havayim, which is the Torah, which we're talking about, is the last letters. And therefore, it's on the level of heavens. Which is above Torah. Torah is Torah is below these heavens, whereas the Milah is above these heavens. Yeah. There it is. Okay. Next point. And that's why there I say, God of Milah, great is the Milah. Those 13 covenants were made in the Bris. And that's why, and the Bris Milah, and so great that even he had 30 covenants. So Perush, God of Milah, he bechinas Milah hagadelish ma'alim matam. This is above level of Milah, because until this point we're discussing these two levels of Milah. There's the below to above, which we talked about yesterday, which is all our efforts that we take ourselves and stop being as dull and desensitized and make us more sensitized. And that's focusing on ruchnius and spirituality and what's important and thinking about what we're doing and making sure we're doing it for the right reasons and making sure we're not getting caught up in mundane pursuits for no good purpose. That's the lower level from below to above. And when we put in that effort, so it gets reciprocated from above to below, and Hashem gives us the present, which is the Milah above, which is even, like we said, this is the Milah of Leba Shemaim here. It's above the Rashi Tevis, whereas the Hashem Havai, which is the Torah, is the Sefer Tevis, the end. So this Milah, the second Milah, goes above even the Torah. It's in the heavens, so to speak, and the Torah is below the heavens. I'm saying in this second level, this higher level, which is a higher level that it has its 13 Chris's Bris, 13 covenants are made. We're going to discuss this in a second, so I want to read a good point. To Perish, God of Milah, and this is talking about the higher Milah. Now, he has a footnote here that explains this point before going to the next point. It's very good. So before proceeding, there's one point that must be clarified. So although this discourse explained earlier that the lofty dimension of Milah will only be experienced after the ingathering of the exiles, that's what we said before, and second level of Milah we're talking about now, when each of the performance of Torah mitzvahs will be of ultimate perfection, nonetheless, this dimension exists now also when everyone fulfills the mitzvah of Milah. So this whole second level that we said, this is a gift that Hashem gives us after all our Veda. And this is, we said before, that happens when Mashiach comes. What we're saying is that this is above Torah. This is the Rashi Tevis, where Torah is coming with Avaya, which is the Sefer Tevis. Nevertheless, what we're saying is that the Milah that we do when we circumcise our son at 8 days old, you're achieving that. To explain, Milah symbolizes the essential bond that exists between God and the Jewish people. Even every Jew possesses a divine soul, an actual piece of Hashem that is forever bound with its source. This is an innate connection that one cannot be broken or weakened, regardless of what a person may or may not be doing. This is a very important point when we were talking about the last Sikha, and this is a very fundamental principle that we have in a neshama, that it's part of Hashem, and nothing you can do to break it. Nothing we can do to break that connection. And that's what the Milah is symbolizing, this connection that we have with Hashem. Our sages say, even when a Jew may sin, he's still a Jew. For the soul's bond with God is absolutely immutable by virtue of what it is, a veritable piece of Hashem. The fact that we're connected Just like a family, you can't say I'm not part of the family anymore. You can convince yourself, but you're always part of that family. It's always, you have that essential connection. So too with us and Hashem, we have an essential connection with Hashem. There's nothing we can do to lose that connection. Of course, we shouldn't do the wrong thing, but there's nothing that you can do wrong that makes you not connect to Hashem. Your neshama doesn't just go away, but you did something wrong. It might be covered over, might be concealed, but it's always there, and you always have that connection. The soul's bond with God is absolutely immutable by virtue of what it is, a piece of God. This, in a deeper sense, is what mill represents, and that's what the mill is all about. A sign in our very flesh. That when you give a bris, you're making a sign in the very flesh of your son, reminding us that we are always bound to Hashem. Obviously, then, this connection is not created by man. On the contrary, its very power stems from the fact that it's Hashem who makes this bond. And as such, is not bound by man's actions. Being that Hashem is the one to make this decision, and Hashem is the one to decide to do it this way, it's all based on what he decides, and that's why it works. It's not that we can do this. I can't come and say, I'm going to give myself a bris. Imagine, I'm going to, Chas v'shalom, cut myself, and then I'm connected to Hashem. It doesn't work that way. Hashem one makes these rules. Thus, to a certain degree, every circumcision contains the deeper dimension of milah, a bond with God that is not initiated by man, but rather stems from God himself. And that's what's happening at the bris. We're making this connection, this essential connection that the boy has with Hashem. It's above and beyond anything that we can do. If this is true of every milah, what then will change? We'll skip this part for now because it's not so important. But the point, that's what we're saying. When we achieve, what we achieve by the milah is this. We're even above Torah mitzvahs. We're instilling and we're showing, we're connecting the child, and we're showing that that child is connected to Hashem. It's irrelevant what happens after that. Of course, it is relevant that we should do the right things, but it's irrelevant to that connection. That at 8 days old, you make the connection with the child with Hashem. He doesn't understand anything, and that's the whole point. It's above our understanding. It's all connected from Hashem. Hashem wants to have the connection with us, and with the child, with that boy, and through doing the bris, you reveal that, you make that connection. Yeah, sheyamul es Hashem es levavcha v'lachei nikras yudim bris. We'll do that again. And what does it mean? The great milah. This is the which we talk about. Which on the great milah you have the 13 covenants. This is talking about the milah that comes from Hashem. Hashem will circumcise your heart. That's how it's made with 13 covenants. So what does this mean? Now we're going to explain what this means. We're going to go to another. We're going to talk about what does it mean, a connection. The explanation is like this. Like it's known, Chris's bris, the idea of a covenant. What's a covenant? What's a pact? Yeah, he says covenant. What is it? It's something that's above reasoning. Like for example, two people that love each other, Chris's bris, they make a covenant, make a pact. To love each other. What is it? What are you doing when you make that pact? Take two friends, and you can do this. Everyone can do this. And I know people that have done this before. And you have friends, and you say, you know what? We're connected. We're making a pact. We'll always be connected. What's the idea? The hainu sheyurchrach liyos oyavoy afim loy haya nimshach etzlei avazul elav achar kach mitzad haseich v'hadas b'kol makom machris es atzma la'avo b'china shel ma'ile miseich v'hadas. Meaning, when you're having good times with someone, you say, you know what? Let's say you're single, we're not married yet. Mitzvah Hashem, we're going to get married someday, and what's going to be with life, I don't know, but we're making a pact. We're always going to stay friends. We're always going to stay. And then, and when you do that, so then when times get shaky and rough, and you move on to different places, and different things happen, and sometimes things could get in the way, chas v'shalom, the bris comes, and it helps you reconnect, stay connected. Even if mitzad seichel, logically, there's a problem. You did this to me. Whatever it is, you make the bris, and the bris is reaching a level above that we're deeper connected. And therefore, just finish off this page. Now, in order to bring down this high level of milah, which is in this level of how fortunate we. You'd give him midas arachim through the third attribute of mercy, which is above intellect, and and understanding. That's what's even above Shem Havai. And even above Torah. You'd give midas rachamim. Hey, b'chinas l'mayla mitera. V'lechein sham hu slich l'avin. So you giving us midas rachamim is that your mercy. We have this in Elul that it reaches above and beyond, and above and beyond your mistakes. And I guess we should discuss this more tomorrow. Basically, you have Torah, and Torah is over here, and Torah is you do the right thing, good. You do the wrong thing, bad. Yud Gimel Rachim is above it, and it comes to a place above. It's like in a relationship. You do something wrong, but then you get to a deeper level in the relationship that what you did wrong is not negeya. Not that you don't have to fix it, but our relationship is deeper than that. That's in a healthy relationship, you're able to tap into that level, and this is a very important level. And when we do a bris, we're sort of reaching to that level, and that level is above your mistakes. It's like a child, chas v'shalom, having a bad day with your child and is misbehaving. When chas v'shalom something bad happens, and nothing true, like you get saved, it's irrelevant what he did in the morning. If he chucked his eggs on the floor, when that child gets saved, you're going to give them the biggest hug. And the Yud Mizrachim is tapping to that deeper level. Not necessarily has to come out from a negative situation, but the point is the Yud Mizrachim is to that deeper level, that it's above what your child does. There's the child's actions, which is Torah mitzvahs, and then there's the deeper level of that connection you have with your child. And that's what Yud Mizrachim are, and this is what's happening by the bris. You're tapping to this level that's above Torah mitzvahs. To be continued tomorrow. Have a great day, everybody.